Welcome back to Friends with Benefits Car Club, where we talk cars, call out nonsense, and occasionally wonder if BMW actually listens to its fans. Spoiler alert, they don't. Today, we've got a lineup of stories juicier than a dealership's totally fair financing rates. BMW finally gives us an M3 Touring, but only if you're worthy. Tesla is proving that robots may actually be better drivers than some people on the road. Toyota's Tundra and Sequoia just unlocked a secret power boost because apparently we've been driving them wrong this whole time. And Mazda is making a new logo because nothing says exciting car news like a corporate rebrand. And in shocking news, some Hondas are stalling, Jeep has a new electric Wagoneer, and the government tried to save us from junk dealer fees. But, surprise, the court said, nah, let them suffer. So, buckle up, hit that like button, turn on notifications, and don't forget to subscribe, because we're not just talking cars, we're exposing the chaos behind them. Let's get into it. BMW has finally built the ultimate dream machine, a 550 horsepower all-wheel drive M3 CS Touring that blends the best of practicality and unhinged performance. It's got the aggressive looks, the carbon fiber diet, and enough turbocharged fury to make even die-hard M enthusiasts giddy. But there's one tiny little problem: we can't have it. That's right, BMW continues its favorite pastime of teasing the US market with forbidden wagons, dangling them just out of reach, like a piece of Wagyu steak in front of a broke college student. This beast packs the same twin turbocharged inline 6 from the M3 CS sedan, meaning it's basically an M3 that can also handle a Costco run at Mach 3. But no, BMW has decided that Americans don't deserve a high-performance wagon because they think we only want crossovers and SUVs. Meanwhile, European buyers get to enjoy this Autobahn-storming grocery getter, and we're left sulking in the corner with our M3 sedans. BMW's reasoning? They claim there isn't enough demand, which is absolutely wrong, considering how many enthusiasts would sell their kidneys for a proper M3 wagon. Just ask Audi. They've been raking in cash on RS6 Avants. The reality is, BMW just enjoys keeping us in a perpetual state of disappointment, and we keep coming back for more. It's a toxic relationship, really. Tesla is now flexing its self-driving muscles in an unexpected way inside its own factories. Apparently, BMW got caught off guard when Tesla revealed that its vehicles can autonomously navigate factory floors, moving between stations without human intervention. That's right, while some drivers out there can barely park between two white lines, Tesla's cars are out here doing factory work. This isn't just some gimmick. Tesla claims this autonomous factory driving helps streamline production, reducing delays and human error. It's like a real-world version of those self-driving pizza delivery bots, except instead of bringing you an overpriced pepperoni, it's delivering your future Model Y to the next assembly stage. Meanwhile, BMW is reportedly scrambling to catch up, which is kind of ironic considering they've been throwing shade at Tesla for years. Turns out while they were busy designing controversial grills and making wagons we can't buy, Tesla was teaching cars how to drive themselves around their own factories. If this trend continues, we're probably not too far from the day Tesla cars will drive themselves off the assembly line, and maybe even sign their own DMV paperwork. In yet another reminder that dealerships are legally allowed to rob you, a court has just overturned the Biden administration's attempt to ban dealer junk fees. If you've ever been quoted a car price only to see mystery fees like paperwork processing, dealer prep, or the legendary market adjustment fee tacked on, you know exactly what we're talking about. The Federal Trade Commission, FTC, tried to step in, proposing a rule that would force dealers to be transparent about their pricing. The goal? To stop shady add-ons that serve no real purpose except to pad dealer profits. But of course, that idea didn't sit well with car dealerships, who, let's be honest, probably see fair pricing as a threat to their existence. So they fought back, took the issue to court, and surprise, surprise, they won. Now, dealers can continue doing what they do best, making you feel like you just got scammed at a Vegas casino, but instead of leaving with free drinks, you get a new car at $5,000 over MSRP. So what does this mean for you? Basically, when you walk into a dealership, expect the same old tricks: fake urgency, ridiculous fees, and a price that seems to shift every time you blink. The only way to fight back? Know your numbers, call out the BS fees, and be ready to walk away. Because if there's one thing dealers hate more than fair pricing, it's a customer who actually knows what they're doing. Imagine buying a Toyota Tundra or Sequoia thinking you knew exactly how much power it had, only for Toyota to turn around and say, oops, actually it's stronger than we told you. That's basically what just happened. Thanks to some newly released software updates and tweaks, Toyota has revealed that the hybrid versions of these vehicles are actually producing more power than originally advertised. Because apparently, Toyota has been downplaying their own vehicles' abilities like some kind of automotive humble brag. Now, before you start thinking you've been cheated out of performance, this isn't a bad thing. It's just weird that Toyota didn't mention it earlier. The extra power doesn't require any hardware changes, just a software update update that fine-tunes how the hybrid system and turbos work together. So if you own one of these trucks, congratulations. You just got a free performance boost without lifting a finger. The real question is, what else has Toyota been holding back? Are there secret horsepower reserves hidden in other models? Should we all be pressing secret combinations of buttons to unlock full power mode like some kind of video game cheat code? Mazda is reportedly working on a new logo, and honestly, this is the kind of groundbreaking automotive news we all wake up for. Forget the next generation RX-7 revival or a high-performance rotary hybrid. Mazda knows what its fans really want, a brand new badge. Now, to be fair, Mazda's current logo has been around for a while, and a refresh might help with brand identity. But let's be real, does anyone actually buy a car because the logo looks better? No one has ever walked into a dealership, pointed at a Mazda, and said, "That's the one. The emblem really speaks to me." So what's the new logo gonna look like? Well, early leaks suggest that Mazda might be returning to a more retro aesthetic, possibly inspired by the brand's early rotary era. If that's true, it's both exciting and mildly frustrating, because it just means Mazda is playing with our emotions again. Every time they tease something that hints at their golden era of sports cars, it turns out to be, well, not a new RX-7. Let's also acknowledge that Mazda has a bad habit of redesigning its logo in subtle ways that no one notices. In fact, they've had at least 5 logo changes since 1934, and most people probably couldn't tell the difference between them. If they really want to get people talking, they should throw in something crazy like a glowing emblem, a moving hologram, or an LED screen that changes colors based on how hard you're cornering. Will this new logo change how Mazda is perceived? Probably not. Will it make their cars faster? Definitely not. But hey, at least their branding team is staying busy. Honda and Acura drivers, it's time for a fun little game of what's wrong with my car now. This time, the lucky winners are owners of the Honda Pilot, Acura MDX, and TLX Type S, as these models are being recalled for a pretty serious issue, the potential for random engine stalls while driving. Now, if you're not a car person, let me translate. This is not a minor problem. The issue stems from a crankshaft defect, which is like your heart randomly deciding to stop mid-sentence. It's the kind of thing that can make highway driving a very unpredictable experience. According to Honda, affected vehicles may experience sudden power loss while driving, which, as you can imagine, is not ideal when you're merging onto the freeway. And if you're wondering how this happens, apparently tiny metal shavings from manufacturing defects could be floating around in the engine, wreaking havoc on the crankshaft. Because what's more fun than a surprise engine failure at 70 miles per hour? Now, Honda has been pretty quick to issue recalls in the past, which is good, but the real question is, how many more of these issues are lurking in their V6 engines? And are we going to start seeing other Honda models join the recall party soon? If you own one of these vehicles, don't ignore this recall. Get it checked before your car decides to take an unscheduled nap while you're driving. And if you were looking to buy one of these models used, well, you might want to hold off unless you enjoy playing automotive Russian roulette. Jeep has finally thrown its hat into the EV ring with the 2025 Wagoneer S, and believe it or not, it might actually be cool. Unlike the behemoth gas-powered Wagoneer that looks like it moonlights as an apartment complex, this electric version is sleek, powerful, and surprisingly fast. First off, let's talk numbers. 600 horsepower, all-wheel drive, and a 0 to 60 time of 3.5 seconds. Yes, you read that right. This Jeep, yes, Jeep, can dust a lot of so-called sports cars off the line. Imagine lining up at a stoplight next to a Mustang, only for this big old Jeep to leave it in the dust. That's the kind of ridiculousness we love to see. Styling wise, the Wagoneer S is breaking away from Jeep's usual box on wheels aesthetic. It's got a sleek modern shape, an aggressive stance, and even a glowing illuminated Jeep grille. Because if it's electric, it has to glow somewhere, right? It almost looks like Jeep engineers took a Grand Cherokee, made it look futuristic, and then juiced it up with steroids. Inside, you get all the luxury you'd expect. Big screens, high-end materials, and enough tech to make you feel like you're piloting a spaceship. But the biggest surprise? It still kind of feels like a Jeep. Despite being fully electric, Jeep is promising some actual off-road capability. Though, let's be honest, most buyers will be using it for school runs and Whole Foods trips, not rock crawling. The biggest challenge? Convincing traditional Jeep fans to go electric. Because let's be real, Jeep loyalists love their gas-guzzling, V8 rumbling, off-road ready beasts. Some of them still think the earth is flat when it comes to EVs. Convincing that crowd to swap their gas-powered Wranglers for an electric SUV with zero engine noise, that's gonna take some work. That said, if Jeep actually markets this thing right and delivers on its promises, the Wagoneer S could be a game changer. It might not replace your lifted Wrangler anytime soon, but for people who want power, tech, and something that won't burn $100 worth of gas every week, this could be a huge step forward. Now, the big question, will Jeep actually price this competitively, or will they try to sell it at luxury SUV prices? Because if they overcharge, no amount of glowing grills will save it. We'll have to wait and see, but one thing's for sure, this is not the Jeep your grandpa grew up with. And that's a wrap on today's car chaos. BMW is still playing hard to get with their M3 Touring. Tesla's robots are making humans look bad. Toyota's been holding out on us, and Mazda changed their logo. So obviously big things are happening over there. Meanwhile, dealers get to keep overcharging us, and Honda drivers get a new mini game called Will My Engine Stall Today? If you enjoyed the ride, hit subscribe and join the Friends with Benefits Car Club, because we talk cars like we actually care, but not enough to sugarcoat anything. Drop a comment below, tell us which story had you shaking your head the hardest, or just yell at us about BMW not bringing the Touring to the US. Seriously, thank you for watching to the end. It means the world to us. Whether you're here for the laughs, the news, or just to hang out, you're part of the Friends with Benefits family. So do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and never miss our latest car stories. We drop car news hotter than a set of fresh Pirellis, and you do not want to be the last one to hear it. As always, thanks for joining us on this ride. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep driving, and remember, if the car you're driving doesn't make you feel like a superhero, you're driving the wrong one. Friends with Benefits, driving off.